and welcome back to the Illuminations Media Network. This is Tamara Taggart, and I'm bringing you the Meditation Circle. This week we are in Chapter 30 of Rev Ike's Secrets for Health, Joy, Prosperity for You, a Science of Living study guide. And he means that. This is a science of living. This is practical information that you can use that is totally scriptural, which gives us the warm-hearted truths that come from our ancestors, that our ancestors knew how we were supposed to be experiencing this life. And so that's why I so love these principles, because they are based in ancient science that come from our people. They wanted us to live this way in a vibrant and wonderful way. They knew what was coming down the pike, but we got the science. And so it's waking up right there from within our very DNA. And I know that you can feel it. Those of you who've been here, those who've been supporting through the years, you feel it. You feel the downloads coming in very quickly, because it's really time for us to wake on up. So as we dive into Chapter 30, the title of Chapter 30 is Seeing with the Mind's Eye. And that's very different from seeing with these physical eyes that are programmed to see three-dimensionally, right? But we know there are many, many, many dimensions to this experience. But right now, because we are in this 3D experience, we need to be able to shut that outer eye and open up with the mind's eye and really be able to utilize everything that was given to us. Begin to use that 10% of so-called junk DNA, the 10% of our brain that we're not using. Begin to use it. Begin to light it up. And so this is all about learning how to see for real. You know how I think it's in some of the Masonic material where they talk about eyes to see and ears to hear. Well, this is speaking to this. And we've got those eyes, that inner eye. And as a hypnotherapist, I work with my clients and helping them to develop these faculties. It's already what you got. You've already born with this. You were brought into the world with everything that you need. But somewhere along the line, it's been shut off through the pillars of socialization, probably through the food, probably through pollution and toxins that are all around us, social engineering. The truth of who we are has been turned down, if you will. But with this tool, you can turn it back on and up. The scripture that Reverend Ike shares with us here is, "Thy Father who sees in secret shall reward you openly." And that's from Matthew 6:6. And this is what we're talking about, right seeing, which of course equates right hearing, right feeling, right speaking, and right doing. And what is right? What is right? Right is keeping the code, living, following the golden rule of making sure that while we are living our lives in wonderful ways and manifesting our dreams, that we are not thwarting and harming other people. Because all of us are here creating. All of us are manifesting in the world. And when we begin to fear that there's not enough to go around, not enough of the good stuff, then we are stepping into and believing in lies. Because there is plenty of everything for everyone. Scarcity is just an illusion. And so when we can pull away from negativity of worrying that we're competing with others, that we have to stop others or move others out of the way, we have to begin to hate others, That's not keeping the code. And so in the outset here, I want you to know that there is enough for everybody. And that, as I say often, that you were born to do something that no one else can do like you. So you have an identity. You have a stamp of what you are here to do. And so it's just so important that you don't let anyone thwart that, and you don't thwart anybody else's. All right? So as we move forward in this, let's look at what Reverend Ike is inspiring us to do. As I said before, he is inspiring us to see with that mind's eye. What is that mind's eye? The mind's eye is that powerful imagination of yours. You know, a really wise man once said, and this is Dr. Charles Richards, PhD. He taught me that anything that you can imagine, anything that you can fathom with your mind, it exists somewhere. It may not have manifested in the physical, but it is in existence, and it is available to you. But you must form a mental equivalent, a mental vibrational match in order for you and that which you desire to bring forth can come on together with quantum entanglement. And you can catch it and bring it into your life and have that wonderful experience. And so Reverend Ike, he breaks it down. You know, he was a minister back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, I believe. And so there's a completely different language. Certainly a lot of the science, the quantum mechanics, and all of these new understandings weren't versed yet, but he broke it down into very common, everyday language that anybody can get. And he just spoke about the fact that you need to open that inner mind. And what it is that you give your attention to is what your mind is going to begin to bring to you, simply by virtue of the fact that you are giving your attention to it. Your attention is the most valuable commodity and tool that you got. Your attention is extremely powerful. Why do you think advertisers, social media influencers, anyone who is trying to get you to do something, calling you to action, whether it's to buy something, to believe something, to act in a certain way, to vote a certain way, everybody needs your attention first in order for them to convince or negotiate with you. And so when you give your attention to, when you give your energy to something, that is where manifestation begins. And your powerful mind, that subconscious mind of yours, the one that I work with in my hypnotherapy practice, that is the part of the mind that is just waiting for you to tell it what you want it to do for you. You see, the subconscious mind's job is to attract and to create and fulfill that which you are most interested in. Yes. And so the important thing here is to begin to condition your mind to get on board with that which you want to do, have, be, experience in the world. And very soon, it will become a part of your experience. That's just how powerful you are. The scriptures speaks to it in a very different way, where it's talking about your Father in secret, all of these things. The Father is that divine source, the creative force that made all of us. oh my goodness, this is just such rich information. And that if everyone in the world could get this, we could erase so much pain and suffering. So anyway, let's get to it. And so the main thing here with being able to see in the mind's eye and to use that imagination is to use the power of visualization. And what is visualization? Is it just seeing images or pictures? No, it encompasses all of the senses. Now, you've got 5 senses that work for you all the time. And as I mentioned, what we see through these physical eyes, all the senses, the ears, the tactile of touching and sensing, temperature and texture and weight and all of that, the hearing, the sounds that we pick up, the sense of smell and taste, all of this is picking up on frequencies that are 3D based, right? But you can always apply that to your inner world. You can remember what a lemon smells like. You can remember what it feels like to lie in a warm bed under a soft blanket. You know what it smells like to smell a sweet potato pie baking. You know the joy and the ecstasy of making love, right? So all of these things are sensual feelings that we have experienced, and we can draw from them and we can bring them into our visualization life. And the beautiful thing about it is that you don't have to have experienced something in order to visualize experiencing it. You can kind of just make it up, that it does feel wonderful to you. And that is what's important. What is the elation of achieving a goal or finally getting something that you've longed for a very long time? Getting a degree and walking across that stage, yes, I've done it. Everybody knows that feeling of satisfaction and joy, of completeness. And as Reverend Ike talks about in this chapter, he guides and actually shares a prayer for visualization of creating something in your life. And in this chapter, he talks about a winter vacation and manifesting all of that for yourself. And the whole thing is that, as he said, if you've never been somewhere, say you want to go to Ghana for the winter, and you've never been to Ghana, but you do know that it's warm there, right? You do know that perhaps it doesn't snow in December. You can just kind of, certain things you already know about the place. But if there are some blanks that you need to fill in, begin to give attention to information. There's information all over the internet about Ghana. There are people on YouTube who go back and forth, expats who live there and share their experience. So you can pick up on feelings and experiences from other people. And Reverend Ike mentioned that if you want to go on a trip somewhere, go to a travel agent. And, these days we can just go online. But get pictures and images to place all over your house. That's kind of the science behind a vision board. That you have things in view of what you want to achieve and experience so that your subconscious mind can become very comfortable with them and take them as commands that you really want to experience in your life. Your subconscious mind is always picking up on everything in your environment, and it's taking it as cues of what you want as your life, as your comfort, as your happiness, your well-being. And that's its job, because its job is basically to maintain your survival. And hey, we want to do more than surviving. We want to be happy, right? And we want to achieve goals and experience wonderful things in our lives. And so the power of this is all about seeing it with your mind. Being able to see, feel, taste, smell, experience, walk through, touch what it is that you want to experience in the world, in that inner life, and to begin to just experience it repeatedly, over and over and over again. And what you're doing again is you're creating and embedding and entraining that subconscious mind that is what you want to experience in your world. Now, I've done it many times. Maybe I wanted something and I knew I didn't have any money. I didn't know when I would get it or whatever. I knew I would have to save and save and save to get something. But the first step, as Reverend Ike tells us here in this chapter, is to decide exactly what it was that you want. Decide exactly what that thing is. What is it that you want to do? What do you want to have? What do you want to experience? The decision is the first step. And when we decide, then we start to think about all the things that we're going to enjoy about it. What are we going to experience? What are we going to appreciate? What are we going to be so grateful for once we have achieved that? And so when we can go there and we can begin to apply the experience as if it's already here, right? Again, that subconscious mind takes it as a command. And this is what I do for people. I help to get people into the hypnotic state, which is a slower and more gentle, more accelerated learning brainwave state. And I help them to experience what it is that they want to experience and deeply embed it through repetition into their subconscious minds so that the subconscious mind can get on board with it. But this is something that you can definitely do for yourself. You know, in these guided images and the guided teachings and the hypnotic processes that I do for the members over on the other side of the members, these are learnings and teachings that you can play over and over and over again. And you can teach yourself how to do this on your own. It can be a little daunting to learn how to stay focused and to stay attentive to the visualization process. But that's why it's helpful to have someone guide you through it, at least the first few times. And then you can learn to do it on your own. And it is so very, very powerful. And I just invite you to move through these different steps that Reverend Ike has given us here. He's given us a few different steps. And so he gave the example of that winter vacation, right? So step one. So you've decided that you want to take a vacation. So what kind of winter vacation do you want to go on? And exactly where do you want to go? Right? The next step is, what month and day do you want to go? The next one, what do you want to do when you get there? Do you see how you're shaping it and forming it? How long do you want to stay? Planning it out in your mind so that you're identifying how it's going to go. You get to decide that. And Reverend Ike lets us know that once you get really, really clear about it, then you want to prepare that subconscious mind with this clarity. And you do this through a visualization prayer. Now, as I say all the time, prayer is not about getting a reluctant deity to give you something because you put a quarter in the slot machine. It's not about begging and beseeching. It's about preparing your mind to receive that which that is already yours. Remember, anything that can come into your mind, it already exists. And there's no lack. There's plenty of everything for everyone. Just because you get to live a wonderful life and you get to attract and experience things doesn't mean that there's not enough for anybody else. So let that go. Everyone needs to learn how to use their mental faculty of their powerful imagination to create worlds for themselves. So when you are plugged in to this process and recognizing that part of your process, part of your responsibility as a human being on this earth is to live a wonderful life, to demonstrate to other people around you that they too can live a wonderful life, and that there's plenty for everyone. Just because you have doesn't mean others won't have. Others don't have because they don't know how to use their own powerful imagination that was given by the divine source of creation, our loving divine source of creation, our Mother, Father, God. It's in every one of us. And when you master this, make sure that you share this with everyone that you know. That's the best gift that you can give someone. It's the best gift that you can give someone to live well, to be happy, to be grateful. And that's the other tip, is that when you are praying, just like Yeshua the Christ is portrayed as saying, that you want to pray believing that you already have it. And how are you going to act when you have something that you have wanted and longed for a long time? How are you going to act? You're going to be grateful, yes? So this is another part to this prayer, this visualization process that helps you to pull up the feeling tone of experiencing the goodness. You're going to close it off with gratitude of, yes, I'm so grateful. That is the acceptance of what's already yours. And that calls it forth faster than anything. Because when you are filled with grateful gratitude for something, that means it's already here. It's already done. It means that you have joyfully and gratefully accepted it. And that seals the deal for your subconscious mind. Because you are pulling up those good emotions of elation and ecstasy. And those powerful emotions tell your subconscious mind, yes, let me make this happen. My person needs this. Yeah, and so it's just a beautiful tool. And if you look back in the old videos, each video, we always do, visualization. Over at the members section, there are a few here on YouTube where I do guided imageries. Same process. It's just something that is so easy and it's so fun to use your imagination to create wonderful experiences in your life. Now, just like everything else, there is the polar opposite side. Because remember that your attention is your most powerful asset, right? Now, you can use it to create a terrible life for yourself. Or you can choose to use it in wonderful ways to create a wonderful life for yourself. You can use it to focus on all of the horrible things going on in the world. You can add your energy to that if you want to, and you can help that to expand. But as for me, I choose to focus my attention and my intention towards the wonderful, beautiful things that are flowing in the world so that I can be a part of the solution. I can be a part of the answer by giving my powerful energy and attention to the beauty, the health, the vitality, the abundance in the world, and seeing it for everyone. There are ugly things in the world. Lord knows we have co-created a world that is harsh. However, we are doing this collectively. And you get to decide how you move in the world, which side you support by what you are choosing to give your attention to. Now, yes, we do want to understand things. We do want to understand the mindset of people who are creating problems in the world, destructive nature of certain peoples in the world. And once we know that and we understand that, that's where they are, and that's how they operate, then we are equipped with accurate knowledge. But the important thing is not to give them your energy through fear, through hatred. No. Give your attention to what you truly want to see in the world. You know the truth about that side. You know the truth that some people are just going to behave in a way that it is destructive. And that is what they do. However, do not fall into the trap of giving away your power to the negative side of life. Live a beautiful life for yourself and teach others how to do the same. It's the bigger dream that wins. Yes, indeed. And so when we think about how to fully experience abundance in our lives, like you right now, begin to imagine the one thing that you want most in your life. It could be something really small and simple that you feel you lack right now. It could be something huge and lofty that you just love to achieve. Whatever it is, focus on the experience of having it and living it. Give all of your energy to the experience of it being here now. What's it going to be like? What's it going to feel like? How are you going to operate in the world once you have it? How are you going to look? How will people address you? What good things are you going to be doing in the world? Begin to think about that and make a decision. And don't waste your energy on negative emotions. Yes, you're human. You're going to feel fear. You're going to feel doubt. You might feel some worry occasionally. But don't hang out there for too long. Remember, the answer to fear is trust. The answer to what you don't want is what you do want. And give your energy and attention and intention to what you do want instead. Begin to really feel what that is going to feel like. Because when you do, as Reverend Ike teaches us, you tell your subconscious mind, you condition it to make this thing happen for you. You don't even have to worry about the how. Your subconscious mind will bring the answers to you. They will show up all around you, the right people, the money, the experiences. That is, if you are focused on giving your attention and intention towards the goal of what you desire. When you begin to divert your energy to the lack, then you're pulling your energy away from what you're truly wanting to create in the world. And this takes practice. We haven't been taught to do this, but it takes practice, but it is so worth it. Reverend Ike gives you a prayer in this chapter where he teaches you how to begin to see it, to feel it, to walk the length and the breadth of it, to touch it, to smell it, to taste it, to listen as though you heard the experience that you truly want to have, to do, to be. And put this in your world, in pictures and photos. Talk about it, have conversations with it, get magazines about it. Have it in your life and live it. Pray, believing that you already have it. Or in the Aramaic, it says, live as if you are enveloped in the experience that you want, and you will have it. And so when you do that, again, you are conditioning your world. You are mending the soil of your mind, putting all the nutrients in it necessary for those seeds of abundance, of joy, of peace, of success, of health, of beauty, to put down those roots and to bear fruit in your life. And so let us do this visualization prayer. And let's do that actually after we do the things to think about. Reverend Ike wants you to think about choosing something that you've always wanted and to give it to yourself in the visualization. See yourself having it, living it, experiencing it, and giving thanks for it. And if you want to go to Ghana, get that passport. That's part of the process. Doing what needs to be done. What clothes will you need? Get them. Do you need to speak a language? Start learning Kiswahili or whatever language. Do you see? Live as if it's already here. Prepare for it. Plan for it. As if it's already done. Quotes to remember. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Proverbs 29:18. God has given man the power to create his experience by means of his imagination. Therefore, whatever he can see himself being, doing, having in his imagination, he can be, do, and have in his experience. Reverend Ike. What you see is what you get. A lot of you may not know about Flip Wilson. Flip Wilson was a comedian in the 60s and the 70s, and he would say, what you see is what you get. So let's do the affirmative prayer treatment. And I want you to repeat after me, line for line. And I want you to really feel it. I want you to feel it so deeply that you almost want to cry. I want you to feel the sense of elation with each line. God in me has given me the power to create my experience by means of my imagination. I am using my imagination to see all the good I desire in my experience. I am visualizing positive, happy, loving, successful experiences. I see myself being, doing, and having all the good I desire right here and right now. Thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, Mother, Father, God in me. Yes. Wonderful, huh? So I'm going to ask you some review questions to see if you can remember what we talked about. First one, what is visualization? What is visualization? Well, remember, it's creatively seeing what you want to experience in your mind. And that encompasses vision, hearing, right? Speaking, feeling, smell, tasting, everything. How does that affect your experience to visualize something that you want? Does it get your subconscious mind on board to do its job, to keep you happy? Yeah. Number 2, where have you decided to go on your vacation? Or what goal have you decided to achieve? And be really specific. I'd like to hear from you. You guys are going to see some magic when you use this technique properly. Please let me know. Please let me know. I will be so thrilled to rejoice with you. Remembering that the first step to manifesting and having the life that you want is for you to decide. No one else can decide but you. Nothing's going to have meaning like what you want. So make sure it's something that you want, not what you think you're supposed to do or have. Be very specific. Last question. Name all the wonderful things that you will do when you achieve this. Whether it's that vacation, whether it's a tangible thing that you want, or an experience that you want to have. Be very specific about those things. And begin to practice visualization with all of the feeling tone that you can muster. Remember to envelope yourself in the experience of your desired outcome as if it's already done. Feeling gratitude that you have it. Well, that was really good. I'm hoping to hear from you. You're going to create miracles in your life by flipping the switch and turning on that powerful imagination of yours. Getting it to work for you and never against you again. Just remembering that what you give your attention to is what you are beginning to attract in your life. So careful where you point that thing. And so that's all the time we have today. Members, I'll meet you over at Patreon/Beyond Hypnosis. And we're going to move into this deep visualization process. And I just thank you for joining us today. I thank you for subscribing. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, and you also go over to my Beyond Hypnosis TV YouTube channel, subscribe there, and just be a part of this community. I definitely want to hear from you. And make sure you grab Reverend Ike's book. I always have a link to get the book, and yes, it is an affiliate link. So if you purchase it here, you are going to support me in my process as well. It's all much appreciated, but you definitely want to get that book, and you want to move through the processes. All this stuff, as you can see, is pretty much repetition. It's almost the same thing every week, just with a slightly different slant. But as you know, we need repetition in our lives because there's so much that's competing for our attention and our intention that we get really forgetful about what's really real and the power that lies within us. So until next time, I'm Tamara Taggart, and I thank you for joining me here on the Illuminations Media Network at the Meditation Circle. In peace and power and joy, I just see everyone living well. I'm looking forward to those emails of you describing your successes and your satisfaction, your healings. Until next time, thank you.
And please be sure to pick up a copy of my Kindle book, Spiritual Healing Through a Breakup, Partnering with Pain to Navigate Any Difficult Life Change. If you know anyone who's been brokenhearted or anyone who's had any loss, grief, or trauma, this is a book that is a must-have. Just 28 pages of jewels.